and shame the devil. You already know what it is. Live, uncut, unedited.
All right, all right, all right. Live, uncut, unedited people. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. This is live, uncut. Mic check 1, 2. Yep. Come on in. We got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to talk about. A lot to talk about. We on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, X Live, Instagram Live. All right. We got a lot to talk about. I tell you, a lot to talk about, good people. This is live, uncut, and unedited. Come on in, come on in. Come on in, come on in.
You already know what it is.
It's live, uncut, unedited.
Unedited.
All right. To my Instagram family, be strong. Make sure you share the video. Follow me. Follow me. I'm bringing the information live, uncut, and unedited, people. It's not my opinion. It's not your opinion, but it's what it is. I'll tell you. It's live, uncut, unedited. All right. Come on in, people. This is live, uncut, unedited. Come on in.
You already know what it is. Live, uncut, unedited.
All right, y'all got to excuse me. I got to answer the door. All right, but come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Trayvon. All right. Coming back, people. Come back. Come on in. Come on in. Live, uncut, unedited.
You already know what it is. And live, uncut.
All right. Unedited. All right, people. We got to get it going on, people. All right. This is where we tell the truth and shame the devil. Come on in. 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 We got a lot to tell you, people.
I love being black.
All right, we're taking calls too. We're definitely taking calls. We're definitely taking calls. So we definitely taking calls, people. Just come on in, and we got a lot to talk about. They have spent a nearly almost $1 billion, people. $1 billion. The state, $1 billion. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in, people. Come on in. All right, Kenny Nicole, what's going on? I see you. Brother D, I see you, Brother D. Yolanda Williams, I see you. Karen Crawley, Martin, I see you. Robin Henry, I see you. All right. Tamara, I hope I got that right. Deborah Liggins, all right. Lewis, what's up, my brother Lewis? Thank you for your donation, brother. What's up, Nathan? What's up? I see you. How's it going? Sharonda, what's going on? I see you. Don Tillman. All right. Summer Ann. What's up, Summer Ann? I see you. I see you. Ronald Johnson. Everybody should be sharing this on their page. Everybody. Richard, what's going on? Preacher, get it on down, brother. All right. All right, Martin, I'm loving your hair. Thank you so much. I'm letting it hang today. There's a lot of information that everyone needs to know about. All right. Denise, Wild Red. All right. Marie Sterling. Going on. Jackie, what's going on? All right, Yolanda again. Tommy Hawkins. Rachel. All right, people, let's get started. Let me hit my Instagram live. That's sorry. All right, I'm sorry. I didn't even hit my Instagram. I'm talking Instagram and they ain't even on.
You already know what it is.
Live, uncut, unedited. All right, people, this is going to be a great topic. The phone lines are open. Call-in number.
Call-in number 872 872-299-0808 or 872-297-6389.
All right, we're taking calls. We're taking calls from Instagram, 872-299-0808 or 872-297-6389. The state of Illinois have given the migrants nearly almost $1 billion. $1 billion. Where is this money coming from? Why is it such a need to give that much money for a small amount of migrants here? I believe it's less than 30,000. Less than 30,000 migrants here. Now, somebody said, well, Martin, I don't believe you. But I'm finna read it and put a little bit on the screen and let y'all see it for yourself. Now, I didn't write this. You see it right on the screen. I didn't write this. I did not write this, people. You see it right on the screen. Illinois has spent nearly $1 billion on migrants, care, and services over the past 15 months. Nearly $1 billion. $1 billion. Look at the Black community. Look at the vacant lots. Look at the disparity of our people. Talking about Black folks. This is the man that we put in office. This is the man that you guys voted for. And a Black brother and sister can't get no money. These monies was allocated strictly for the migrants and their care. My God, listen, somebody said on Instagram, they said the great replacement is in effect. Effect right now. All right, people, y'all see it for you. It's right there on the screen. Nearly $1 billion. $1 billion. And I believe the count is under 30,000 migrants here in the last 15 months. Nearly $1 billion. Don't you know what the Black community could be with $1 billion? Don't you know what we could have done with that? We're not even talking about reparations right now. We just talk about putting that money in the community. All of a sudden, when we as Black people ask for money, there's no money. There's no money. No money. And like the sister said the other day, Black people are leaving the city. They are leaving the city. The Black flight. They're flying out of the city. They're leaving out of the city. They're walking away. They're leaving homes. They're doing all these things. Somebody need to hear me. This live, uncut, unedited. You already know what it is. I'm not making it up. You got the proof. Those of you that's on Instagram, there's an article out that the state of Illinois has given nearly $1 billion in the last 15 months. Now, we understand that Brandon Johnson have not been in office a year yet. So I've given him about 7 to 8 months. What are we going to do, people? What are we going to do? What are we supposed to sit down, leave the migrants alone? Listen, this war is not against the migrants with us. We're fighting our government. That's what it is. They've told the migrants to come over here. We got houses for you. We got land for you. And I'm going to tell you, that money is not just was given to Venezuelans and all that. It's probably the Ukrainians in that budget too as well. It's live, uncut, unedited, people. Oh, I see you, Peggy, on IG. See, I decided to come on IG. That's okay. It's all good. This is live, uncut, unedited, people. Can y'all believe this? This is unreal. Let's take some callers, people. Come on, call in. The call-in number is
Call-in number 872-299-0808 or 872-297-6389.
Come on in, people. Call-in number, and we can listen. We can discuss this. What's your thoughts? Don't let these preachers out here listen. These chicken eating preachers. Don't let them lie to you. Most of them was not interested in the migrants until they started passing out money and all that. And you wonder why a lot of these congregations don't have no black men in there. They're full of women. Most of them are full of women. Not saying that's a bad thing. James Brown said it, it's a man's world, but it wouldn't be nothing without a woman. That's real talk. My. Somebody said on Instagram, all I know, if I don't pay my water bill, the city is going to cut off my water. And that is so true. All right, caller, somebody call in to come on, discuss with me. Nearly $1 billion. $1 billion. $1 billion in the last 15 months. Spent nearly $1 billion. Why are we so quiet? Leave the people alone. We talking about the government. What about our veterans that fought in the war for U.S.? Some of our fathers, mothers have fought in the war, our sons and our daughters. And they're sleeping outside on the ground under tents. Now, and I want to be transparent. And I know you have some homeless people here in the city of Chicago don't want no help. Well, what do you mean, Martin? They don't want to go inside. They content of being outside. They're content being outside, living in a tent. But there are those who want help and can't get it. Somebody said on Instagram, they said we're getting scammed and invaded. That's what it is. I got a caller, and I want to hear from the caller what they have to say. Nearly $1 billion. I haven't even read the article yet. Nearly $1 billion in the last 15 months. My goodness. Hey, caller, where you calling from? 9743. Yes.
Yes, it's Dr. K. It's my other number.
Oh, okay. I didn't recognize the number, Dr. K. Come on with it.
Well, I've been reading and listening, and I'm kind of tired and frustrated myself. A lot of the churches, like you said, they jumped on the bandwagon to be able to get this money when they didn't really want them in the first place. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them have partnered with other churches for the simple fact to say that we're doing something. Honestly, you're not doing anything. If you want to do something, why aren't you advocating? And most of these preachers, Martin,
Tell the
I already
truth.
know where I'm going to go.
That's right.
Yeah.
Why would you literally shun your own congregants to worry about other people? Now, I'm not saying that we hate immigrants. We're not saying that.
No.
But my point is that we still have not taken care of our people within our community.
That's right, sister. In our community.
That's all there is to it.
And Dr. Sanders, hold on, Dr. Sanders. I know you are a Christian woman, God-fearing woman, and I know you heavily involved into the church and all that. And one thing I can respect you in your walk with God, that you keep it real, you keep it honest. You keep it honest. And like I said earlier, most of these ministers and these pastors didn't want anything to do with this until the money came up. And this is what I see, Dr. Sanders. If I'm a man and I'm pursuing a woman, I'm dating a woman, and I should treat her children as if they were mine. But at the same time, I'm not paying attention to my own biological children.
Exactly.
Now, you see where I'm going with this?
Exactly.
Dr. Sanders, they said $1 billion in last 15 months, nearly spent $1 billion. This state, this governor. Now, you're talking about less than 30,000 migrants, less than 30,000. And they talk about even more in January when they're going to be voting on more money. Where's the tipping point? Where is it? Do we stop? Go ahead, Dr. Sanders. Let me let you talk. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And that's no. Good. My concern is the more that comes, the more you are turning away the main need. Here we got a lot. I hear a lot of parents when I'm at work that talk about they're taking their kids out of CPS. So CPS is going to be, and I'm telling you what I've observed and what I've heard. They're taking their kids out of CPS because of the immigrants. Now the kids are going to be forced to go to charter schools, and now there are more and more charter schools opening up. That I'm like, you're seeing them on the bench by the bus stop. I'm like, where y'all come from? They're opening up more charter schools, so a lot of parents are frustrated. I know my alderman is upset, or our woman is upset, or whatever. But right now, we need to sit down and really look at these older people. We really need to. We need to stop and get off the pot. All of you are older people that hold an office. You're not being fair to your own people. I would tell you in your face. I'm not scared none of you are. I will meet you head up, face to face. Because the community that voted your behind in office will be the same ones that vote your in out. It's time to stop playing. You will not care about your own community. You're worried about trying to service other people who we don't know. Now, like we said, we ain't hating on nobody.
Oh, no.
But how you want to piss over us and tell us it's raining? Then you all preachers want to hook up with each other, and you want to go and get these restaurants to come in and want to help say something like you really doing something. You're not doing nothing. You're really not. Honestly, you're putting it on a front. Now, this is the thing. Why are you so concerned about what the government's going to give you? So who are you selling out? Who are you selling out? The community, I met a lady a few weeks ago that, I had injured my knee, and I've been on crutches for about
hold on, Dr. Sanders. Hold on. Tell it like it is. First of all, I voted for Brandon Johnson, and I don't have no remorse for voting for Brandon Johnson. I did not vote for J.B. Pritzker, so don't lie on me at all. I voted for Brandon Johnson. I will say that. Brandon Johnson got 3 more years left. And some of y'all black folks, you're talking loud, you're saying nothing, and when election time come around, you'll forget all this. You've been forgot about all this. And right up under, right under the bandwagon again, vote. You did it to Ron Emanuel. Ron Emanuel closed down 50 schools here in the city of Chicago, mostly in the black and brown neighborhood. And you still voted for him. You still voted for him. So don't come on here and tell me what you voted for. I'm part of the voting process. That's my right to vote. I can vote Democrat. I can vote Republican. Anything you can do or say about it. That's my constitutional right. Now, if you didn't vote, you don't have the right to speak on this matter at all.
No.
You have no right to speak on this matter if you didn't vote.
No.
At all. Period.
And the government, since they were so busy, want to dish out people in our areas, especially the black areas, because you try to do it over there at Evergreen or Oakland, you're going to have a war. Because they ain't for the play. Hickory Hills ain't for the play. The whole thing about it, since the government said go here, then why didn't the government find a location, build things for them, and let our people continue to try to uprise? Because the crazy part is this. Our communities are always suffering. Well, for what? But then you give the immigrants all this money. You give them this and that and the other. I can't even go into Walmart, man. Come on. I can't even go to Walmart without having to stand in line almost outside the door to get simple things, because there's a lot of immigrants in there that's getting big TVs. I mean, I'm not.
Listen, well, they got. Let me say this, Dr. Sanders. I don't have a problem with them spending money in Walmart. They got to go somewhere. Right. They got to spend some money somewhere. Right. But our fight is really not with the migrants. It's the government.
No,
it's not the fight. Listen, if there's any migrants that listen to me tonight, I don't want to see a boy, a girl, or any parent outside sleeping in the cold. I don't want that. But I'm for my own first. And I don't want no veteran.
Exactly.
I don't want no natural born American citizen that have paid taxes. If he didn't pay taxes, their mama did, or they bled and died for this country, to be outdoors homeless. Cold outside.
And my thing is this, Martin, when you talk about the veterans, let me help you. Let me help a lot of the people out. First of all, for you all young people that are younger than Martin and I, and you were not born, let me hit you up on this. Those veterans was out there stopping chemicals from coming into this country to kill us. When you want to talk about the veterans, trust me, my uncles gave their life in World War II. They fought it when your parents weren't even thought of. Know what the hell they go through when they go out there into strange countries, continents, fighting other cultures. For what? To protect the United States. And the United States can't even treat our veterans with respect. You give them a little bit of this, you give them a little bit of that, you have stand downs. Okay, why you gotta have stand downs once a year? Why not have stand down every day? So a lot of veterans are coming to my clinic, they're getting a lot of tests done. So their bodies are contaminated with things that they had to experience out there in the war. See, real war. We ain't talking about nobody on the technology. We're talking about those who go out there and literally fight with weapons, those who seen their comrades blow their head blown off. You live in America. America loves its hordes, I guarantee you that. It loves its hordes. They will fight you about the hordes. But when it comes to those veterans, they give their life and they see things that you will never see. Because you don't understand the system. It's hard for those veterans. So when I see young people that say stupid stuff and you don't know nothing about being a veteran, take your monkey behind into the war and find out what it's about. I bet you your attitude will change. Because these are the things that happen. My best friend, Derek Triplett, in high school, 20 years, it messed him up and he had to go through post-traumatic stress. You don't know nothing? Learn.
Yeah.
And we're not beating you up. We're telling you, stop your talking, stop your jabbing, and learn history.
Hold it right there.
Learn what the kind of government is together.
Hold on, let me get some more calls on here. Okay.
Call in number 872-299-0808 or 872-297-6389.
All right, we're looking for some more callers, people. This is not the Martin Johnson and Dr. Sanders show. We open it up for everybody. Come on in, people. Come on in. I'm telling you, we listen. Come on in. Come on in.
My thing to the,
Go ahead.
Churches, you all stop being a showboat. Don't be phony. If you weren't trying to help your own, and then these new immigrants or people come from all over the world, and now you want to put on a show, cut out your bozo circus show and take care of the ones in your own congregation.
Yeah.
Because there are some in your own congregation that are suffering.
Yes.
There are some right now that need their light bill paid, need their gas bill paid. They don't have any food. They got maybe a piece of turkey and a piece of hair. Look at your congregation. Stop looking for the government to do this for us, but we'll give you. Then what you're doing, you're selling out because Jesus never told you that. Jesus never sold out for nothing. He did not.
Let me say this too.
You want to honor the government, Lord and God, then shut the churches down.
Right. And my thing is to the pastors out there that are listening to me and the preachers that's taking this money on. When are you going to open up the community open up your church to the community that you're doing business in or saving souls in? That's all I want to say. That's all I'm going to say. You opening up your house of worship for migrants, for foreigners, but you won't open it up for the very community that you're trying to serve in, that you're saving souls. That don't make a sense. How dwelleth the love of God? Hold on, Sir Dr. Sanchez. Let me say this too. I got listen. I'm well qualified to speak on that. Let me say this too. Listen, Pastor. Don't come on here and tell us parishioners that we oppressing migrants. We don't have no power to oppress migrants. Matter of fact, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna be bold, and I said it last night or early this morning. If it was in our power, I'm talking about black folks, from me talking to some most black, they would send all the migrants back. If it was in our power, I'm talking about black folks. So you know we don't own or control anything. Go ahead, Dr. Sanders, and I got another caller right after you. Go ahead, Dr. Sanders.
And let me
Go
say
ahead.
this. For you all pastors, I'm coming with the trigger. Number one, you didn't die on the cross for nobody.
Mm-hmm.
If God gave you a commission and you are really for real, then you understand that word of God. You didn't die for no soul, but you have a charge to minister the gospel and make sure that God's sheep are fed. That's what your job is. Your job is not to sell out. Because remember, you're a 501c3. You're not for profit. Remember that. If you are a real preacher and you understand the game, then understand this. When it comes to souls, you're not the one that died. Because the Bible says that I be lifted up. We're talking about Jesus Christ. I'll draw all men. He'll do the drawing. But your ministry is not circled around you. It's about God's people that need to be saved. If you can't save, you can't bring the ones that in your community to Christ. How in the world are you going to worry about going out there and getting somebody else? You got Pookie and Ray Ray, Shaquanda and Shakita out here.
They don't want to talk to
the
them.
gangbangers out here.
They ain't paying
You don't want
tax.
to talk to them.
We don't want to talk to them.
Right. And even my thing is this. The tithes ain't yours. If you profiting off of it, you're wrong. Because of the thing about it, I'm going to tell you some passages, I'm going to hit you Saturday with this one, Martin.
And we're going to go to the next call.
You want an income, you can fall under the IRS as a paid pastor to get taxes out of your money. Yes, you can. Did you read the book? But understand this. If you can't talk to Shaquanda and Pookie and Ray Ray and the rest of the people, then how dare you look to the migrants and act like you're Jesus, because you didn't die on the cross. Right. Jesus did. And you will not take him down to put yourself up there.
Let's take this call. Let's take this call. 8741. 8741. 8741. Come on, caller.
How you doing?
Oh, I'm blessed. Go ahead.
Hey, man, I'm calling from the 76 in the Hermitage area.
Okay.
And this kind of ties in with the migrant situation, but this has been going on before the migrants got here. I'm just appalled that these Latino people have infiltrated our neighborhoods. They're taking over all of the homes, the 2 flats, the multiple unit buildings. They got 10 people in the building and they got 4 cars apiece. No parking. You can't do anything anymore. You go to Walmart, the line, like the lady said, is out the door. And I tell people, your replacements are getting off the buses every day. So what you need to do is get off the TikTok, the Facebook, the Instagram, and get in these streets. That's where it's at. This is not going to end well for us.
Did you know, sir? I don't know how. Sir, let me say this to you. Did you know that in the last 15 months, they have given the migrants nearly $1 billion in the last 15 months?
I'm aware. Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But, and it's another observation, just for me observing things. Those people in Brighton Park, most of those people are immigrants too. But they are the ones that's taking the streets. They're demonstrating and protesting and letting their voices be heard. But in our neighborhood, cricket.
Nothing quiet. You hear the crickets, yeah?
Crickets. Now, I go to visit my mom over here on 115 from that area, and they got the jewel, the abandoned jewel.
Right.
And You don't see nobody. Nobody's around there. Nobody's protesting. Nobody's saying nothing. And they're just in there doing their thing.
Well, I can't. Let me speak up for that, sir. Let me speak up for that. Before they started the building process and stuff like that, there were protesters out there. I have proof evident of that. So you probably don't see them now since they've been out there. I think they've been out there one time since the builders have been out there, the contractors and stuff like that. But they have been out there. I will say that. I will say, because I have proof. I was one of them. I went out there to video record. So I know that for a fact and all that. But it needs to be a sense of urgency, man. You know, and I always, let me say this to you. It's two things that they will not allow you to sell in the black community: loose cigarettes and drugs. You can set up anything you want, a food. You can take the abandoned buildings, but they will not allow, when I say they, black people, they will kill you dead if you come in their community and try to sell some drugs. Now you can sell it to them wholesale, and they're gonna sell it to the people that's around them. And I have to say, I got to tell the truth and shame the devil, brother.
The truth.
Got to.
And shame the
We don't care about what Alderman be elected. We don't care what they vote in the city council. We just don't care. We don't care about the trash. Not all of us. Not all of us. We don't care, people. We don't care. How can we? I'm talking about black people now. I'm talking about us now. This family talk. Those of us that was born here in this country and a foreigner come over here, they can't speak the English language. So if you know they can't speak it, they can't write it, or they can't read it, and come over here and outfox us and get houses and apartments and all that. And we know they got help with the government. How is that possible? How is that possible, bro? How is it possible? Go ahead, bro.
We keep voting these knucklehead aldermen in office.
Yeah.
But you know what, Martin? The man he made a point when he said they're buying up stuff. A lot of these migrants, and I want the migrants to know, we're not hating on you. We're not saying we don't like you, we hate you. Let's be clear with that, migrants. Our listeners, what we don't like is the fact that they pee in our face, disrespect us, dishonor us, but give you all the gold. That's not fair for us that has been here.
Giving our money.
Taxes, that work every day, that make sure that our families or our household or our children are safe. But they give you preferential treatment. You come here. We don't know what has happened in your area, but I guarantee you this: we can never go where you live and get that treatment because they took our heads off. But as the man said on the call, he said, "You all got this money. You all done bought up houses. I got proof, especially in our progression. A lot of them bought houses. You buy abandoned apartment buildings, and what you all doing? Y'all putting y'all money together, rehabbing it, and you fix this for yourself."
And squatting.
Squatting. They squatting. A lot of these homes are not being bought. Listen, a lot of these homes are they squatters, and they go in there and they doing work and taking over these homes. And they allowing them to do this. They're allowing them to do this. Trust me. Listen, here's a person been over all their life and can't get a mortgage. Oh, you need this, you knew that. They giving migrants mortgages. Don't even have a social security number. Come on. Starting them off with good credit. Listen, Chicago, black men and black women, we're in trouble if we don't stick together. The replacement is right here. It may not affect well-established people just right now, but what about our children? And I guarantee you, I can put my life on it, that in the next 2 or 3 years, the same people that were sleeping in the police stations, in tents, going to be property owners. They're going to be store owners, business owners. I guarantee you, we already know they're going to be police officers. I'm telling you. All the rules that they... Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
On the lighter side, I'm just going to go down to Mexico. I'm going to walk right back across the border and get me a mortgage and some money. And
I'm going with you.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going with you. Because this, and it's not fair. So, it's not fair because we work too hard. We clear up our credit to get these stores, take all these NH housing classes, to be able to get some extra money, and all this stuff. But you're getting stuff for free, but they don't know how to treat us. Michael Jackson said it. They don't really care about us.
And hold on, Doctor.
Care about you.
Hold on, Dr. Sanders. Anybody on here that call this conversation racism, you don't know what you're talking about at all. You don't know what you're talking about. We listen. One thing we do know how to talk. We know how to talk about racism. We know how we've been mistreated. A black person could never be racist. Now we could be prejudiced, but to be racist, you got to have power to stop something. We didn't ask the migrants to come over here. We can't. Listen. We're not stopping the migrants from doing whatever they're doing. Yeah, trying to use reverse racism. White folks, white people.
They try to make it look good.
Yeah, white people love us. Yeah. Now, and I'm gonna tell you. Listen, let me say another thing, Dr. Sanders. One more thing. You're gonna say this little crime chaser guy told me. A lot of jobs is going to flood the community, and we're not going to be able to get them because they're going to qualify. They're going to be required of us to be bilingual. And when you can't speak bilingual, you don't qualify for the job. Now, hold on. I just got out of college. I can't get the job. So you tell me because I can't speak Spanish here in America, I can't get the job. Watch what I tell you. Watch. That's another form of discrimination. Legalized discrimination, racism. Go ahead, Dr. Sanders.
Question then. So we know what the problems are.
Yes.
Now we need to come up with some solutions.
That's correct. Okay. What we're doing right now, we're brainstorming. We have to identify all the problems. Then not only identify the problems, we have to know what they're trying to do. That's what we're trying. They're trying to replace us. So we have to counteract that. Now, black people, we have to do something. We're going to need to do something. We have to get involved. We're going to have to put down the alcohol, the weed, the guns, putting the booties in the air and all that. We're going to put all that down. It's serious time. Because, see, this is what they want us to do, my brother. They want us to pack up our bags and leave. Go on, leave your house. Don't pay taxes. That's what they want us to do. They want to scatter us.
When your grandmama is 35 years old, who's teaching?
Yeah.
That's the thing right there. Because as I know, speaking from experience, you can't really get a lot of the 35-year-olds to understand because everybody is stuck on dumb stuff. I passed by 75th Street the other day, and Limbs is always standing outside, right? Everybody's standing about 2 blocks from Limbs. But guess what's next door to Limbs? Y'all know what's next door to Limbs now? It's an adult.
Isn't that alcohol we have? A what?
It's a yes. I will take a picture.
I missed it. What is it? I missed it.
It's on 70. It's an adult porn store, lingerie porn store. Yeah. Brand new. Got pink sign on it. Said lingerie, toys. I said, wait a minute. Right? Just a couple of business stores down from Lynn. On 75th. And I'm like, so this is what we. So it's stacked. Everything is stacked now.
Yeah. Well.
You go online about whatever.
Well, see. Let me just say this. Those are things. Those are what you call minor things, are distractions. They want us to continue to watch the Chicago Bears and the Cubs and the White Sox and the Bulls, get distracted. But have you guys noticed that there's a shortage of black men? You don't see black men like you used to see them. I noticed that. You don't see a lot of black men standing out no more like that. No. And only time you see a lot of youth is when they're congregating, maybe downtown. But you don't see a lot of black men. Even downtown, when you see the youth, it's more females than men, young men, than boys. I noticed that. The women outnumber the boys.
I'm sorry. So how do we get, when they do those takeovers and go downtown and just start tearing stuff up, how do we do a takeover in our neighborhood. Well, I'm trying to understand how can we weaponize that, or not weaponize it, but make it to where now it reaches us as how do we get it to wake people up, basically.
Brother, we gotta go by way of social media. We got to go to the thing is now what they're doing now in city council, they're trying to make it where you can't go in the chambers while they making decisions. They want you to go way on the third floor where they can't hear you. And in order for you to speak to the council, you have to go through your alderman. Come on, people. They're trying to, so the alderman, all of a sudden, they're afraid now. You're afraid of what? What are you afraid of? You're not afraid of that $100,000 check you get in a year. You're not afraid of that.
You know you're doing wrong. That's why you're afraid.
Yeah. So our people are being sold out. Now, and let me say this, Dr. Sanders. Hold on, one thing. Listen, brother, there's 77 communities here in the city of Chicago. Every white community is thriving, and all the black communities are what? Declining. Why is that? Is that our fault, or what is it? What is it? There's not one poor white community here in the city of Chicago. But you could come in these.
Well, it's not funny.
Go ahead.
If you go on the north side, there's a bar, a lounge, a club on every corner. A church every 2 miles spread apart. Come on the south side, there's a church on every corner, a lounge every 2 miles spread apart. That's got to tell you something.
Yeah. Now my thing. Now, okay, let me put this in your mind. I got another caller. Go ahead, Dr. Sanders. Go ahead.
When we have these stores within our community, we constantly are stealing from the stores. You know, and you keep having to go out to get what you want because you can't get what you want in the community because our folks keep stealing. They keep stealing. And then you got people that are being hired that will help you steal. And
Dr. Sanders. Dr. Sanders, most of these big box business, they don't want to invest in the black community. No way. They getting tax breaks coming in our community. Not justifying that we should steal. Not at all. Not saying that. Not saying all that. Listen, a lot of that stuff probably don't even make it to the store before get it to the shelves and stuff like that. So the biggest thieves are the managers, are the ones that's doing the inventory, Dr. Sanders. Those are the biggest thieves. The biggest thieves in some of these communities. But let me take this call.
I'm sorry. We're getting off track.
No, we're still on track. We're still on track, brother. Let me take this caller, 5625. Come on, caller. Go ahead, caller. Caller, 5625. Last 4 digits of your telephone number.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, how are you?
All right, here. So my thing is that when they start.
Who is they? Hold on. Who is they? Who is they?
Like the riot when they start breaking into the stores and all that.
Okay.
But when they hit downtown, we didn't have nothing to do with them when they hit downtown the first time. When they started rioting, they made it okay for these kids to keep doing what they were doing.
No, they didn't.
Stop it.
No. Listen. When the riots first broke out, mayor, which is our mayor, what was our mayor, she said, she told them to stand down, just secure the store. They didn't have enough manpower to arrest everybody. She wanted them to secure the businesses, get everybody out of these businesses from looting. Okay. Now, you only will have what, 12,000 police officers? And you got to watch a whole city and business and do calls and all. They couldn't do it. It's not that she gave them a pass, Mayor Lord Lightfoot, to steal and loot. They found another avenue where the young people realized that, hey, they can't be everywhere. It's only so many cars that's assigned to each district. They put it together. Young people, they plan and they strategize. Now they know if 100 young people run inside of Walmart, now more likely maybe 10, 15 might get caught. The rest of them gonna get away. What can you do? What can you do? And do you blame the city or do you blame the parents of these young folks that's going inside these businesses looting and taking? It's not the CPD job to raise our children. It's not their job. It's not the mayor's job to raise our children. It's not. So I don't agree with that. Lori Lightfoot did not give these young people a pass to break in these businesses. Trust me. And something, listen, when I didn't vote for Lori, but when Lori came into the office, she had to handle the pandemic. Now, Brandon's in the office. He has to handle the migrants. So these are unfamiliar territories. Both of these mayors had to face. They black. But nobody want to say nothing when these white folks been ruling Chicago for 20 years straight. Crooked. Didn't say nothing. It's quiet. They didn't stand up. They didn't stand against the white man, Ron Emanuel, both dailies. Listen, John Berg have done a lot of damage to the black community. Nobody wants to talk about that. There's a lot of hurt in the black community. This is history. This is history. And I'm not justifying that our young people, it's right for them to go out there and loot somebody's business. I'm against that. I'm totally against that. I get it. We're going to have criminal acts. That's not going to, people still going to steal. Listen, people was murdering back in the biblical days and they murdering right now. You're not going to lock up, you're not going to be able to lock up everybody to stop this stealing. Period. You're just not going to be able to do it. We can point the blame game.
Did you all know?
Go ahead, brother. I'm still talking, but go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right.
I'm sorry.
All right.
Go ahead.
Listen, when are we going to take some responsibility, we don't have to take it all, of our young teenagers that's very disrespectful, that's out here shooting people, killing people, carjacking people? When are we going to take the response? A lot of us right now, Dr. Sanders, and I'm quite sure you know, and I know, and the gentleman know him, we know some young person, maybe our nephew, a little cousin, or uncle that's out there doing some of these things. Now, we have to make a decision. Are we going to turn them in, or are we going to turn a blind eye? Or are we going to go approach them and talk to them and try to steer them in another direction? What are we going to do? Now, don't come over here and try to save my house when you're not saving your own house. Well, what do you mean by that, Martin? You living in a house where you got 3 teenage sons, and you know they shooters, pill poppers, drug dealers, whatever. You don't say nothing what they do, but you look at Mary's son over there, just carjacking, robbing, burglarizing, smashing and grabbing. Save your own household first. Tend to your own house, your own business. Save your house first before you go into another man and woman house business. And that's our problem. We got shooters sleeping on the couch. I'm still on the migrants. Because guess what? What's going to happen? The migrants going to blend right in with that. You see every day on the news, they getting caught with guns. They fighting, stealing, going downtown. Now the migrants, they're doing this.
Yeah.
Now go ahead, my brother. I just wanted to say that.
I was just piggybacking on when you were talking about Rahm Emanuel, and I had just found out that the parking meters that we're paying for parking,
that's Mel Daly. Yeah, go ahead.
That money goes to Abu Dhabi. We don't see none of that parking money. It doesn't help us at all. It goes over to the Middle East. Billions of dollars.
So what are we going to do, black people? Go ahead, sister.
Yeah, it's so important to understand history. Like I said, Martin, you and I both have seen this city in our time. You know, we've seen Jane Byrne, we've seen Harold Washington. We were here. We witnessed so much. when Harold Washington, let's be honest, he was killed. He really was.
Yes.
He was.
I believe
killed.
that.
And those who were not born, you would not know the experience and the feelings that this city took when our mayor, the late Harold Washington, had just broke ground over here on 47th Street. And after leaving there, going downtown to his office, this man has a heart attack. You wasn't here to experience that. That was a dark day for us. There was a dark day for us when Ben Wilson was killed. 2 black boys killed him. We were here when Mayor Valandic was here. We can talk about the story of Old Man Dale. So a lot of the young people that were not here, you don't know the history of what we're talking about and the pain that we had to watch this city go through. Our communities have suffered for decades, for centuries. We've watched how these people have done us. The Democrats have done, the Republicans. We watched this. We lived it. And for those who are just now coming into your feelings and your age now, guess what? You just now feeling what a pandemic really is. Because we weren't here in 1926. You felt it. I've lost too many friends to COVID, not knowing what it was. We lived how our leaders have treated us. Ron Emanuel, Martin just mentioned that. Close the schools down. Combine schools that had their own personality, that was just getting off of academic probation, was just now coming into something of their own, where the kids were failing with test scores. And this was one of the schools that was almost on probation for 20 years. And they had just got their act together. Why I can think about it? Because my children attended there. And when he closed this on Ingleside, mended it with, what's that other school? They called it, oh God, Jesus, that just tell you something. That school over there where they're now, they blended 2 different schools that had 2 different personalities. A.O. Sexton.
And Fisk.
Sexton had his own identity. He didn't know what he was doing. And where do you see my Ron Emanuel now? We done had, what's his name, that put the governor in jail for what, 14 years, and he only served 7 years. Where's he? Where's Patrick Quinn in now? So we can go all the way back when folk wasn't here, when everybody was just little bitty kids. They don't understand what we see, Martin.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't see it happen. My people were here when Dr. Martin Luther King came to Chicago. But the West Side took the biggest hit because guess what? The West Side never recovered from Dr. King's killing.
Mm-hmm.
It never did. We were here when it happened. So how we feel about it is not based on our feelings. It's based on experience and what we witnessed when you're a part of it. When Dr. King was here.
Hold on, I want to say something too.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, hold on. Hold it. I want to say something. You can ask the question to her. Okay. Now, let me just say something about this Democratic Republican thing, they flipping red and all that. First of all, I know we've been voting Democrat here in the city of Chicago for many years, and we've been getting robbed and cheated and done wrong. Now that a mass majority of us is waking up, we're going down to city council now, and we're demanding our aldermen not to vote for this or vote for that or pass this bill. Now, all of a sudden, they want to close that window. They want to control it. And see, and I always say this, people, politicians cater to 2 people, 2 types of people. The ones who bankroll them and the one who most fear them. And we know that's white people. Now, listen, we know that. Listen, now, the Republicans is not our friend either, as well.
No.
Trust me. They don't want to see us do great. Well, you say, well, they gave such and such a lot of money. What about the masses of people? People, what we have to do, as Mark Wallace always said, we have to get organized. We can't allow the Democratic Party to pick a candidate for us. And that's why we got what we got. We had a choice. We had a black man and we had a white man. I was going with the black man, period. The white man had already had a track record of doing the black community wrong. So that was out for me. I wasn't trying to hear nothing what he had to say. Nothing. That's just my personal opinion. This is opinion of mine. Now, as the brother said, nobody can really say what the Republicans have done for us, for black people in the last 30 years. What policies that we have really benefited and prosper off of here in America in the last 30 years. Really. And some of the answers, they say, well, he gave the HBU. Okay, I'll give him that, which that was a bipartisan thing. Or he had well, he let the guys out of jail and all that. Okay, now where's the prosper part? Where's the money part? I mean, how at least one thing about it, we can go to the Democrats and get something. We may not get everything we want. We can get something from the Democrats. So what I'm saying is, we're not just going to just say, hey, we're going to vote red and not get nothing. We got to go to the negotiation table with the red party, with the Republican party, and say, hey, we want this or else. We'll continue to vote our own demise. We just can't get mad at the Democratic Party and hop over here on the red bandwagon. Can't do that.
That's what's happening.
And I know it. That's what's happening. I see it happening. But that's no solution, brother. Listen, Chicago have more problems, not just a migrant problem, but we have problems, other problems as well, too. Now, J.B. Prince, they just put an article. $1 billion they almost spent nearly $1 billion in the span of 15 months on the migrants. $1 billion. Look at the South and West Side. Look at it. I'm talking about where predominantly black people live. And the only time you see something good in the black community is when it's being gentrified. And they building these houses on the South and the West Side. Who can afford them? In Woodlawn, they got a house almost cost $1 million. What type? $1 million on 62nd and Ellis? $1 million? I lived on that block. Dr. Sanders, she's a resident of Woodlawn. She know what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
Now, we still talking about migrants now.
Why are these landlords wanting 1 month's rent at $1,500 a month, then want you to come up with 3 months security?
Listen, brother. Let me explain that. The trick is, this is the trick. Okay, they don't want you to have no eviction in the last 5 years. Then, if they want $1,500, you need to make 3 or 4 times that. So if you're living in the city of Chicago and you got to pay $1,000 rent, you got to be making $3,000 or better in order to afford that apartment in their eyes. $3,000 or better. Take home. Or better. I'm telling you, people, they're pushing us out of here. Now, for all my well-to-do black people, I know you ain't worried about nothing. You established, and I respect that. But what about the folks that's not established? Now, if those of us that established, Sister Dr. Sanders, we can say we winning. But what about the rest of our people that look like us, that's losing, that's struggling? Here's a man, Dr. Willie Wilson, that comes in the community and buys gas and groceries. Okay? Now, and listen, I'm just saying, that money that he gives to the community, really he's not giving it to the community, he's putting it right in the hands. Who owns the gas stations? Who owns the grocery stores? He putting it in their hands. It never really touches the black people's hands. I'm just telling the truth now. And I'm not trying to speak ill of Dr. Willie Wilson. I appreciate him giving back because that is his money. He don't have to do it.
Right.
He's not mandated to do anything. That's his money. So I'm tired of people telling Willie Wilson how to spend his money. What should he do with his money when you go into the gambling boat and the dope man every day and the loose cigarette man buying drugs?
Right.
Do something with your money.
That's right.
Okay.
And Martin, you know, they're building that new 5-story apartment complex on 63rd in Maryland. And that's going to be integrated with market rent, affordable housing, and Section 8, right there on the corner of 63rd and Maryland, right across from the Conscious Restaurant. Because right now, my job is building, as we speak, an $813 million cancer pavilion. Oh, yes. So the University of Chicago got all of their hot claws in this community. They ain't having it. So now the people that are selected to be in that building, they're going to carefully screen you. Now, when you are assessing your property is more money, the landlords are going to request. I just had this conversation with somebody yesterday, a day before yesterday, and I told them, you got to have the right job. Now, if you're selected in affordable housing, guess what? You are still not able to make the money that you would like to make. You know why? Because you're going to be assessed according to affordable housing law. If you make a certain amount of money, they're going to pay a portion and you're going to pay a portion. But there is another thing that people don't understand about affordable housing. You barely can't even work 2 jobs. You know why? Because it'll run through what they call an employment verification system. If they catch your social security number at another job, they're going to tell you you got 14 days to report that second job because that's income. That's fact. It ain't feeling. It's what I know. And now that new building that they're building was supposed to be opening up this month, they're going to have different income, market, Section 8, and affordable housing. And the rent margin, as you said, I looked at the print of those apartments. And those apartments, just for market rent, is starting at $1,300 to $1,800 because they got 3 or 4 bedrooms. And that little matchbox, and you're gonna have stainless steel, everything. That's what they're building, called PSL, right there across the street from City Sports. Go online and look at it.
Let me just say this too. The dear sister had a question. I want to get back to her real quick. She had been holding patient. I'm sorry, sister. 5625. What was your question? I think you was wanting to ask a question real quick.
So my question is to who's the young lady that's talking? I'm sorry.
Dr. Sanders. Dr. Sanders.
How do we know that Harold Washington was killed? How do we know? Because they said he had a heart attack.
Well, let me help you out.
It wasn't a heart attack.
Let me shoot this down.
Then I'm gonna follow up.
Do that. His nephew used to work at this school. His brother went into court and told them in so many words, do not leak this out because it would tear the city apart. It's in the court system because it was found out that it was laced. He had never had no health problems. All of a sudden, he had it. At that time, and I'm going to say it because I used to work for these people, the Badoliaks were against Harold Washington, amongst a whole lot of other people. We were here to know that. So his brother Ray went into court, and they found out he was never had no problem. It was laced. Now, his brother was caring about the city because he didn't want a war. It would have been worse than King's death. That's how we all know. But his nephew told me. His nephew said, Unc had them to seal it because it would have torn the city apart.
And let me just say this too. And let me just say this, and this God my witness. I say probably about 5-6 years ago, this white man at Swaparama, Alsop, Illinois, we were talking, and he worked in the court system. He was worked in law enforcement. And he told me off the record, he said, the reason why Harold Washington was killed or murdered, because he was giving too many black people contracts.
Yeah, there you go.
Do you know under the Harold Washington administration, black people was eating? They got contracts all in the land, all around. They got contracts.
Yes, they did.
See, sister, know what this is right now, what you're witnessing right now in the city of Chicago? This is a war of resources. Nothing personal against the migrants. It's a war against resources. You spending nearly $1 billion in a span of 15 months on people that never paid taxes here in the United States. Who money you think that is? That's our money paying the system. I'm saying. And so is that a slap in the face to the community, to the veterans, to the black community?
Oh, yeah.
That's a slap in the face. And when we've always been told there's not enough money. Okay, the city hall. Now, they said, well, we allocated $500,000 toward reparation for study. $500,000. But you've given the migrants $1 billion, nearly $1 billion in 1,500. I'm talking about the state of Illinois.
That ain't
500,000 to compare that to nearly $1 billion. Now do the math. Now that don't make sense. Now listen. So we as black people, as black Christians, we supposed to sit there and say, Lord, just have your way and don't say nothing. We supposed to sit still. This is a war of resources. There are a lot of hurting people out here that can't get help. I challenge anyone right now, if you're homeless right now, call 311 and tell them you're homeless and see what happens.
You going to 10 South Wacker? That's what we going.
Matter of fact, they're going to give you a sleeping bag and a tent or something.
You're going to go, like Martin, like you said, 10 South Kedzie, that's what's going to happen. That's central services for the homeless shelter. They're going to tell you, okay, we're going to pick you up and take you to the nearest wherever. I used to run a shelter. That's the main motherboard is 10 South Kedzie. So when it gets through with that, this is what we're dealing with. And Martin is talking about it's a fight for resources.
That's what it is.
We're at right now.
And you can't.
Look at what's going on with our black question.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's one question I want to ask you. So the ordinance now in these communities is nothing like Dorothy Tillman. Oh, okay.
Well, let me.
Look, I know she had 47. She might have been doing a whole lot of things, but she wasn't let. I don't know.
Well, I know what you're trying to say, but let me just say this. Let me say this, sister. And I said it earlier. I don't know what time you got on here. Let me say this to you. Why is it that every community, every white community is eating, thriving, and got plenty of resources, and the black community don't? Why?
Yeah.
Why? Somebody answer me that. I need some of these intelligent, smart.
The ordinance is sold out.
Let me help you out. When you talk about Evergreen and Oakland and Hickory Hill, those all the persons, they get what they're supposed to get for their community. Have you been out there at Evergreen lately? That's a whole nother. Let me tell you something. Evergreen Park, you couldn't, as a black person, be allowed to go to the show. Y'all didn't know, many of you out there born, you didn't know that was a mall, for real. They had upstairs, downstairs, had a lower ground garage. You had to get out of there and Ford City by 5 o'clock because niggas was not allowed. They would get you up out of there. They arrested you for trespassing. Now, Evergreen and Oakland, those all the people that ain't showed out, they get what they're supposed to get. Because the white folks, who happen to be cases of mine, they come there and they go to meetings. They go to the Chamber of Commerce. They won't let you come over there without an approval. That's how they get it. Because white folks are going to take care of their community. Drive your behind down there on catch you and run a stop sign of life. Your butt getting an $800 ticket and a call because they don't want you over there. In our community, our folks sell us out. Anthony Bill got that big old stadium over there on 111, right off the damn line. Don't he got the Calumet, Martin? Am I right?
Yeah, I know you're talking about shopping mall.
But he said he was up.
Oh, Meek Church.
Dr. Sandy.
The people.
But you know what?
You got to know.
But you know what?
The people.
Let's be honest, y'all. Let's be real honest. I'm gonna give all our black politicians a break today. They ain't running nothing. Y'all know they ain't running nothing.
I ain't giving them a chance to go.
I'm telling you, they ain't running nothing. They just there. It's a face. They're not running anything. They're not gonna do anything. They're not gonna do anything. Not for the black community.
That's right.
You know. And hold on, Mark. Let me just say this. Mark Wallace just put up something that we at the point where we can make $1 billion if we bring the airport in or something like that. They bring a lot of jobs, which is correct. But guess what? We're waiting on the governor. We're waiting on the governor to pass so we can have a third airport. We need that. Mm-hmm. But he's so focused, allocating all these resources to the migrants. Mm-hmm. And we need a third airport where we can thrive and make money and win in the long run. But that's my case. Let me find that statement Mark put up here, Mark Wallace put up here, which makes sense. I just skipped past it. Okay, here it is. All right, let's see. He put up I want to read that real quick. I'm upset, people. This is a war of resources. All right. Here it is. It says show. Let me read. It says, Mark Wallace says, we have an opportunity to bring thousands of jobs to the Southland and South Side. $17 billion from infrastructure bill and a $3,700 billion from the CHIPS and Science Act is coming to Illinois. And we are talking about a few thousand people. I know that. Now, listen, let me just say this, Brother Mark. And you know I love you. I support you and all that. But you got less than 30,000 migrants here. In the 15-month span, they nearly got $1 billion. And look at the South and the West Side. Look at our communities. Look at our young people. Look at our situation. Look at our plight. Now, don't get me wrong. Every black person is not suffering here in the city of Chicago. We know that. Mm-hmm. But it's a small number of us that's really winning. But are we really winning if the masses is losing? Are we really winning? Mm-hmm. How dwells the love of God in us? And we shut up our bowels. Right. Seriously. Now, if you want to talk Christ, let's talk Christ. I tell you. Mm-hmm. What did he tell a rich man? The rich man came to Christ. He was bragging. I kept all these things from my youth. But mm-hmm. Jesus told him, he said, one thing that you lack. He said, what is that, my good master? I'm paraphrasing. Go give all your riches to the poor and come follow me. And you know, the scripture said that he didn't do it. He did not do it. He didn't do it. And the Bible tells us where your treasures are, that's where your heart is. Can I get a witness, Dr. Right. Sanders? You're a woman of God. You know about this. That's right. Wherever your treasures are, and wherever the government is spending their money, that's where their treasures are right now. They spent nearly $1 billion in the 15-month span on not citizens of this country. Mm-hmm. Now, where did that money come from? Did it just pop out the sky, or did that money come from our taxes? Now, I'm telling the truth now. This is a war of resources. This is nothing personal against the migrants. Because guess what? Black people, we have no power to send them back. We don't own nothing. And the little thing that we do own is very small. Very small. And I'm mad at the churches tonight because you open up your doors, not for the community, but for some strangers that's in the land. Hold on.
Yep.
Not for doing the deed of Christ. Hold on. Not for Christ. You did it for money. That's what you did it for. That's what you did it for, money. You wasn't doing it because of the love of God in your heart. You doing it because of money. A lot of these pastors and ministers didn't want nothing to do with the migrants until the money came up. Now they want to get in line and get some of that money. How dwelleth the love of God in you? We talk about Christianity now, Bible, morally right. What's really right? Is it the money that's motivating you, pastors? Or is it the true servanthood of the people that you're supposed to serve? Which one? The Bible's already told us we can't serve two gods. We can't serve a God and mammon too. And I always say, money is right up there with oxygen. We need it and we can't live without it. But we don't have to sell our soul for it. We don't have to turn our backs on the master. I'm talking when I say master, Jesus Christ, God, for the money. If we really, truly is of God, don't you think God will provide and make a way for what we really need? Not what we want, but what we need. If you're doing the really work of God, God will make a way. Trust me.
That's right.
The Bible said the earth is the Lord's. Am I right, Dr. Santon? If I'm wrong, correct me now.
That's right.
And all they that dwell therein. The earth is the Lord's. The Bible said the king's heart is in my hand. We talk about a wonderful God, a wonderful Savior, the Prince of Peace. That's what we're talking about. We're talking church now. So don't get on here talking about black people trying to oppress migrants. That's not our fight. This is a fight of resources. Our people are starving. Our veterans.
That's right.
Our alcoholic, drug addicts, homeless. These are people that risked it all for this country. And they're being treated like nothing. And we supposed to go on and not say anything? How dwelleth the love of God in our heart?
I got something to say. Please.
Go ahead. Go ahead, my dear sister.
Dr. Sanders. And Mark, I've been listening to what you're saying, but again, everything goes to our aldermen. If our aldermen is not doing right in the community, it starts with them. It starts with them, don't it? Dr. Sanders?
When you talk about an alder person, they're supposed to represent the community, but they don't represent the community. It takes the community to let them know where their stand is. The respectable thing an alder person should do is to listen. They don't listen to what we have to say. That's why we don't keep stable alder persons in office. Woodlawn has been through several. We went through with Arinda Troutman. She got moved out. Right. Then came Willie Cochran. He got moved out. He had a problem. And now we got Jeanette Taylor. Nobody is stable. When the community is unstable with the leadership, then it's time for the community to get off the pot and start making the voices known. We've had, Mark, I believe you were around when we went through Shay Ramfest, Andre Smith,
I was around.
And this other guy named George.
I was around.
These three men set up in my house. They literally did sit in my house. And I asked each and every one of them. Matter of fact, I recorded three of them in one of my computers. I said, what are you going to do for Woodlawn? Because Grove Park at that time was going through a crisis where they were going to put the tenants out in the street. Mind, do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the tenant association came together and went down at a HUD. And those that went down at a HUD were fighting for us because they were going to give the residents restricted vouchers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did.
I beg your pardon?
But they wanted the residents out for the university, right?
At the time, what was going to happen was that they were putting out the tenants. They were doing that. But when Paul came in, Paul saved the day. Because you would have had homeless tenants. So HUD had to back down because Amy, who was the founder of POA, saved the day. And that's how the redevelopment and redensification came in. I was here since 2002, so I was there. So when they decided to remodel and tear down an old Woodlawn apartment, they dispatched different ones to different locations in Woodlawn. Some of them living in 6430 Soniana, some of them ended up in temporary houses, some of them ended up on a waiting list, and so on and so forth. At that time, Willie Cochran was the alderman. He got himself a nice little award and gave everybody a 10-pound turkey and said, go ahead on. And Willie knows I don't like him because I told him to his face. I don't like the thinking. And then he got caught up in some stuff and he disappeared and then fell into Jeanette Taylor. Now, the other light-skinned young man, I forgot who he was, he would have been a good prospect, but it's connecting with the entire community. That includes pastors, community partners, as well as homeowners and tenants. You've got to talk to the people. The difference between here and the southwest side of Oaklawn and Evergreen is that the white man ain't gonna have no mask. So they continue to keep the same older persons because they get things. It's our community. Woodlawn shouldn't suffer. Inglewood shouldn't suffer. Auburn Gresham shouldn't suffer. But it takes the community to stop playing with these jokers and pranksters and hold them accountable. And maybe a protest to storm City Hall to shut all these folks down would help. Because there's no battle with us between the other white suburban areas. We ain't gonna do it there. But do we go over there to shop? Yeah, we do. Some of us do, be honest. So my thing is, when it comes to our community, especially mine, we're lying. I love you, Jeanette Taylor, but I'm tired of your mouth and your mind.
And where do Dr. Finley fall in that?
We
Dr.
listen.
Leon Finley?
He's deceased now,
Yeah.
but it's that's a whole nother life. Yeah, he's dead.
That's a whole
Another life. Right. But we're gonna end it right here, people.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead, because we're gonna end it. Go ahead.
Okay, just one quick statement. So, do we handpick a candidate to run for office?
Okay, guess what? Hold on. Let me answer that question for you. And I got my friend on here, Mark Wallace. If we continue and let the Democratic Party or the Republican Party pick our candidate, this is what we're going to go through right now, what we're going through right here in the city of Chicago. See, as a body of people, we have to select a candidate that we believe that's going to represent the masses, not just a few, not the elite.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when it came down to it, we had two candidates. We had Paul Vallis and we had Brandon Johnson. We knew we knew Paul Vallis' track record. We knew his track record.
Yep.
Now, don't get me wrong. Paul Vallis said some good things about a black Chicago. Said some good things that sounded good. But then Brandon Johnson, we're looking at as a young, thriving man, married, for big example. These are things that we're looking at. And yes, we do vote on color. I do, and they do too. Don't let them tell you that they don't. Mm-hmm. They vote on policy. That's a lie. So listen, some of them, they'll vote against their own interests before they let a black man rule over them. Trust me. So we have to get together, brother, and build a block, as Mark Wallace always said, get organized so we can pick a candidate. If Mark always say this, Mark Wallace always said it, if in every ward, if we had 10,000 people that's part of the block in each ward, though we could put anybody in there that we in office that we want. But we have to be organized. We can't put up 20 black people at one time, and then we got one white person. We giving it away. We got to get organized. We got to go and close the doors and, hey, we voting for XX. That's what we're going to vote for. That's what we're going to put up front. We don't need 20 black people running for mayor because it's going to split the vote. Right. We don't need it. But we have to get organized, brother. We do a lot of talking. We got to. That's what it's all about. Mm-hmm. And that's why I'm part of 10 by 10. And we're trying to get organized, build a block, a voter block. Now you could be a part of any organization and still be a part of 10 by 10. They ain't never asking you to leave your organization. We just trying to get organized. A block of black people. Black people. Yeah. If we will listen, $1 billion worth of resources, money in 15 months. How much of that money was allocated to the black community? The black suffering community, if I say. Black suffering community. The veterans that fought, black and white, Hispanic, whatever, Asian, that fought for this country. Man, you know what I said this, people? And I'm going to end it with this, and I'm done. If they would have done this, it probably, to me, this is my personal opinion, they would have said, okay, all right now, even though we got the migrants here, and we dealing, they're homeless, and the homeless population, we're going to open it up where all the people, not just the migrants, all of those that are homeless, the homeless mothers, the homeless veterans, and a lot of people, you can come in and get resources too as well. Maybe we wouldn't be fussing like what we fussing right now. That's just my opinion. There's nothing law now, y'all. Nothing law. That's just my opinion. All right, I'm gonna leave it right there. People, thank you.
I have an opinion. Wait.
No. I gotta go, baby. I gotta go. I gotta go, baby.
What it is live,
uncut. That's
you
it.
already know what it is live, uncut.
This is where we
edited and shame the devil.
All right, people, y'all already know what it is.
I love being black.
Good night, people. Thank you for tuning in. I want to thank my YouTube family. If you're not on my YouTube, subscribe. I want to thank my Facebook family, my Twitter family. Thank you so much for coming in. Make sure you follow me. I don't have all the answers. I'm here. I'm a student of learning. I don't think no one person knows it all. Trust me. So thank you guys for tuning in. This is live, uncut, and unedited. Peace out.